Hello everyone, I am just Shawnee and this is just a reminder to join the membership. Let's go in.
I have called the non-emergency police more times than I can count, and it's always something scary, but I've gaslit myself into thinking that I'm being dramatic. So here's the story about how I called the non-emergency police, but should have called 911. It was the scariest night of my life. Back in high school, I was terrified of staying home alone because every single time I did, I would hear noises. My parents always told me that it was just, the house settling and making creaks because it's an old house. My parents had gone out of the country, so I had my best friend come stay with me because, like I said, I was terrified of being home alone. And the way that my house is structured, my childhood home, the basement has a door and then it has like these steps that go up and then there's the back door, but you have to go up deck stairs in order to get to them. And then there's a front door. 3 doors, okay? So me and my best friend, we leave. We're gonna go get dinner somewhere, okay? And I am so paranoid. Like I said, I checked every single door to make sure it was locked. I went in the basement, made sure it was locked, came upstairs, looked at the back door, saw it was locked, went to the front door, locked it, left out the garage, closed the garage. We got back and we were just giggling, laughing, and so it took us a while to notice, but when we got inside from my garage door, you can see my back door, and the back door was cracked open, but it took us a second to realize. What made me realize is I got into the kitchen and I felt like a cold breeze. It was winter, that's important, and there was snow on the inside of the kitchen. Once I noticed the snow, I looked up and the back door was creaked open and there was snow coming in from the back door off of the deck. We had a dog who knew how to open doors, so I was like gaslighting myself. Like I must have left him outside and he got in, and I just was so confused because I remember the dog being in the house and then all the doors being locked. My dog is known for loving snow, so it wasn't uncommon that he was outside in the backyard like all day. Like he was obsessed. So my friend was like, no, like you probably just left him out. And he got back in. He knows how to open doors. He would have let himself back in if he was too cold or something. But we were unsuccessful in yet again gaslighting ourselves. So we went upstairs and we were laying in my bed and we were just laughing. I remember we were laughing so hard. And then we heard a giant bang. Like something had either crashed to the floor or somebody slammed a door. I remember we stopped laughing so quick. Deer in the headlights. My dog starts barking. I can't explain to you the feeling in my gut when I realized, like, oh my God, there's somebody in the fucking house. So maybe this was a stupid decision, but my first thought was we gotta get out of the house. But there's 3 doors, and if that was a door slamming, like an outside door, like someone leaving, then I don't wanna run to right where they were, so which door do we choose? We ended up choosing the front door, which is important, okay? Keep that in mind. And when we ran out of the house, we brought the dog with me. He ran with us, like he was scared too. And our pavement from the front door to the street was shoveled, so there was no snow. The car was parked in the street and we run to the car, we get the dog in the car, we slam the doors, we lock it, we call the non-emergency police because we're like, well, like, what if something just fell off the wall? Like, what if we're just being dramatic, nobody's in the house? So a police officer comes, and in my town, not much happens, so I think he was very excited to get some action. And he's like, okay, ladies, like, you stay in the car. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna check the perimeter of the house. Like, he was so excited. Love him. He goes in. We can see him, like, using his flashlight. It's going, like, all over the house, which made me feel really safe because I could, like, see where he was. I was like, I needed to know that you have to check every single inch. And he comes back out, and he's like, okay, ladies, I do think somebody was in the house. I felt like I was going to throw up. He tells us that there are footprints all around my house, going to each and every single door. And they're not our footprints because we were on the paved driveway and on the paved thing from my front door when we left. There are footprints all the way around my house, down the steps to my basement door, footprints pacing at the door, back up, all the way around, up the deck steps, and into the, like, deck area where the door was open and there was snow inside the house. He's like, do you want to come inside with me, see if anything is stolen? I'm like, no. No, my parents are out of the country. I'm a minor. I just don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to go sleep at my friend's house. I'm bringing the dog, by the way. I brought the dog. He's like, okay, I can assure you that nobody is in the house right now, but I also don't know how they got in, because if you're saying it was locked, there's no, like, forced entry. I'm like, I don't know either. Like, I know it was locked. So that's still a mystery. There's also a mystery is what they did in the house, because once my parents got home, we all came together, searched the house. Nothing was taken. Nothing was touched, nothing was moved, and I do think that the slamming was him going back out the door. And I say it's a man because the footprints, based on like what the police officer said, was like a man's footprint. I don't. So that was one of the scariest nights of my life, and it always frustrated me because it only happened when I was home alone. When my parents were home, nothing would happen. No sounds, nothing. But every time I was home alone, something would happen. And now that I'm thinking about it, I did have a stalker in high school. I don't know if he would ever take it that far, but it does explain why it would happen when I was home alone and not when my parents were there. And why nothing was taken, I don't know. It gives me the chills just thinking about it.
Like you said, all the doors were locked. What's crazy to me is that you didn't go to that back door and try to lock. My intrusive thoughts would make me walk to that back door and jiggle the handle and make sure, if I would look in the crack to make sure the door is locked. That's my thoughts. That's what I would have to do. My gut would be like, bitch, I would not be able to move on with my day if I did not do that. So yeah, that's crazy to me. She's like, I don't know how he got in. Either he had a key. There's plenty, like we seen how people get keys when, you know, they don't even have a key. He could have recently sneaked in your house before, got a key and went and got a copy of it. Or he could have, if you ever watched any action movies or you know that movie, what is it called? 24 hours, not 24 hours, Taken. The guy from Taken, he's in this other movie. I'm just like, why did you downgrade yourself to be in this movie? The movie is out right now, I think. And I was just like, what is this? It's a picture. I think the cover is him and a blonde hair lady. But I was looking at the previews of that and I was just like, the trailer is just like, what is this foolery? It's just so silly, being that you're known for Taken. You're known for Taken, bruh. We love you from that, and then you doing this. Anyway, I got sidebar because I was just like, wait, what? But he could have one of those screwdrivers that they put in. Is it one of those guns that they put in and it unlocks the door? It'd be like, yeah, unlocks the door. Only thing it doesn't do is the deadbolt. But if you from the hood, you know how to get into a house with a deadbolt. I ain't gonna tell you how I know or what it is because I don't want to give nobody any ideas. But there's ways he could have got into that house if there's no screen door or deadbolt, like, or if he does know the deadbolt. So yeah, when she said that she saw the door was cracked open and just went on to her room, just discounted all of that and just like, yeah, I left the dog out. Yeah, he came in. No, I would have literally checked every freaking room. Check the attic, bro. Because what? I would be like, yo, he hiding in the walls. I would check every room, under everything. Check the microwave, the oven, like stuff that don't make sense. I would be checking to make sure, and I would cut all the lights on. Make sure my friend stood at the doorway, so just in case I'm in one room and he somehow got to another room before I got to the room he was in, she would see him. Like, nah, friend, have a weapon and be ready. My dog will be on high alert because that's crazy to me. Like, what are you talking about? And then she's talking about the door was open. My first thought after she said the snow, I was like, okay, so were there snow prints? Were there wet floor spots? Like, was the kitchen floor, the path of it wet? Like, my thought process, because y'all remember the other day when it was the powder that killed the spiders? I have it all around our garage and our front porch. So if you come from the garage, there might be footprints. So the other day, y'all remember I was saying my mom had footprints all by her office, and I was really confused because it was just like right there at the office, nowhere else. But even then I was looking at the footprints, like I was on the floor like, got all the shoes, like, is these our shoe size? Look on the back, on the bottom of the shoes, trying to figure out, is this us? Like, what's going on? So I would have been on the ground looking for footprints, looking for everything. Like, no, my peace of mind is everything. You're telling me that y'all just laughed it off? No, friend, no. Oh, girl, talking about he could have been a stalker because he only came when I was here by myself. Was he? That explains why he probably didn't. Well, no, it don't. Nothing makes sense in this story at all. Cause you're saying you called a non-emergency number. Well, at least you still got a cop. So okay, I can see that. Okay, that's fine. However, he came in. He was in the house the whole time. Y'all didn't know he was in the house. He didn't come upstairs. Maybe because you had a friend. Maybe that's the reason why he didn't come upstairs. Because if he was a stalker, he would want to get close to you, near you, get your hair, something of yours, or see you. Like, it's just weird and scary. And please be very vigilant and aware of your surroundings, and lock your doors, and make sure you lock them. Actually feel and test, girl. I'm glad she okay.
Scary story time mimic edition. While I make slime, sent in by a supporter. Please don't mind my bonnet. Yeah. So we gonna call this girl Miley because she didn't tell me if she wanted to remain anonymous or not. Oh my gosh, I always do this. Okay, so y'all, Miley decided to stay at a cabin with some of her friends and her boyfriend. I want to say this is in the middle of nowhere. I need to start making my slime in a bowl again. But this cabin was in New Zealand, and they didn't know too much about the cabin, but they rented it anyways because it was the end of the school year. You know, they want to have fun. Okay. Now, the day that they got there, nothing ended up happening. Everything was going good. Everything was going nice up until it started to get closer to night. Now, during the day, they went skiing, they went exploring, and then towards the night, they started to chill, they started to wind down, they had a couple drinks, and they decided to all get into the hot tub. Now, when they were all in the hot tub, they heard this loud bang noise, but since they were intoxicated, they ended up letting it go, sort of. So after hearing the first noise, guess what? They heard a noise a second time. And so I guess this was just the okay, it's time to go inside for her friends. They went inside, but Miley and her boyfriend decided to stay outside in the hot tub. So Miley and her boyfriend, they having fun outside. They, having a good little time. And then they start to hear footsteps. Now, this initially freaks Miley out. And then her boyfriend, reassures her, tells her everything is okay. And after that, a couple moments later, guess what Miley sees? A tall black figure. And this scares the crap out of her. She freezes, she jumps up, leaves the hot tub, and runs literally into the house, leaving her boyfriend outside. Now, Miley was a little confused on why her boyfriend didn't follow her, but 10 minutes later, he ended up coming inside, and he was acting a little unusual, but she kind of brushed it off. Now, they went to bed, and the next morning when she woke up, guess where her boyfriend was? Nowhere to be freaking found. So obviously, like any normal person in this situation, she started to freaking freak out, and she started texting him, calling him, blowing up his phone, and then he texted her a weird response and was like, oh, everything is fine, it was just a family emergency. But this is kind of strange because if it was that serious, you would have woken me up before you left, but you didn't. So since he responded, she ended up calming down, and she had a nice fun day with her friends, and her boyfriend was gone all day long, and he came back at night. Now keep in mind, they did not go back to the hot tub because everyone was kind of scared of it at this point. So when she seen her man again, she noticed that he looked way more frightened than he was. So she was like, are you good? And he just responded like he had seen a ghost. So she was like, okay, something is off. She knew something was wrong. So she ended up going back outside to the hot tub to clear her head, to see what was going on. And that's when she found her boyfriend unconscious, he was sleeping. This is where it starts to get crazy because her boyfriend is in a hot tub, but at the same time he's in the house. Something's not adding up. So obviously she panics, she wakes her boyfriend up, and this is where she realizes that her boyfriend that's in the hot tub, that's her boyfriend, and the person that's in the house, she don't know who that is. So immediately she goes to check up on her man. She's like, hey, okay, this is gonna annoy me, get off of the table. So immediately she goes to check up on her man, okay? And she wakes him up, and this is where she realized, like I said, that her man that was in the freaking hot tub, that was her man, and he has been here since she left him last night, okay? And the guy that was in the house, she don't know who that was. So she woke up her boyfriend, she grabbed him, and they went to the house, made sure all her friends were okay, and the mystery person, they were in the bathroom crying, looking confused. To this day, they don't know who that person was. They called the cops. The person got arrested. Now, I don't know if it was a mimic, but I can say it was probably a walker, a walker, But anyways, yeah, that's the story. This was sent in to me by a supporter. I did not use their real name because they didn't give me permission to, so yeah.
Well, that was different. That was really different because what? What is up with these bangs and people not going to investigate? No. If a bang happens, I'm going. I don't care if I'm drunk, high. If I'm high, it's gonna be a very very intense investigation. Like we finding this noise, we figuring it out. And after I realized that it was something silly, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, laugh it off, but still keep on checking to make sure. If I'm high and I figure out what it was that made that noise, I'm going to test it out. I'm gonna be like, okay, it's because this failed, so let me test it out. Let me drop it as if it failed. Knock it over as if it failed. It makes the same sound. Okay. That's what it was, okay? So it's wild that I was the second time they went to go check it, but whatever. They stayed in the hot tub. Why would you stay in the hot tub if you heard crashes twice? No, I'm not doing that. That's not me. She sees something and runs, and he didn't follow? Clearly, these people are not... see anyone running, I don't care what race they are, I'm running to. Well, shoot, no, I can't say that because, you know, white people just be running for sport. They just be running for sport, and I just be like, okay, so imagine that. Imagine how many white people you see running on a daily outside, and if you start running, they're gonna be like, okay, you training for a marathon? But if you see a black person running, bruh, they are not running for sport. They're not doing that. They might be running to get the new pair of Nikes, maybe. They might be running, like, I'm not going to even list all the things because it's going to sound really bad, even though... But no, we're running. Like, I get it. She should have said something, I guess. But if you see somebody and they just stop and you, like, us as humans, we know emotions. Like, so if you see somebody who stops in mid-conversation and it's fright, you're going to see the fright on their face. And you're going to be like, wait, what's wrong? You know? If I see a fright on somebody's face, literally, and they looking behind me, you ain't got to run. I'm running. Like, I'm going to be like, as I'm running, looking back to see why you was frightened. So yeah, no, friend, I don't understand that. But when she said that the next day he shows up, I was like, that's not him, boo. That's not. But I didn't think it was a mimic. I thought maybe whatever that dark figure that was behind him just jumped in him, like took over his body. Not a mimic. That's crazy, bro. I don't know how true this story is because it's just like he was in the hot tub for how long? Until the next night, boo? That's not how our organs work, honey. You in boiling water for a long period of time, over 5 hours, honey? Nah, I'm not hearing that. That's not realistic. Like, I don't know about that. And he was asleep the whole time? Maybe unconscious? Like, no, that's weird, friend. That's really weird. What was that thing doing all that time it was missing? You know, it's like, it was more to that. We would have to do an investigation on that one. Cause what? But no, I'm glad they safe and they arrested him. You'll hear the ending of a story though. So that's why I was just like, is it real? Cause they arrested him? I don't know. That was weird.
Don't want to hear a creepy story. I'm a huge horror movie fan. I love all things creepy, love Halloween. Anything spooky, I'm in. One of my favorite like recent horror films is Talk to Me. When I watched it for the first time, I watched it with my sister and her girlfriend. We all loved it, thought it was super scary. Christmas rolls around. My family does like a secret Santa. Everybody just like pulls a name out of a hat. I pull my sister's girlfriend. What are some things that I know she's into? And I think horror movies. I go on Etsy and I'm perusing like horror related gifts. And I come across the Talk to Me hand. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a weird looking forearm and hand. And it has all these names written all over it. So this Etsy seller sold two different options. A blank one, the other option had all the names written all over and it looked like the one from the movie. I decided to go with the blank one because A, it was cheaper, and B, I thought that it'd be fun for all of us to kind of like decorate it together. She opens it on Christmas, she loves it. For New Year's, we all went to my family's farm and we decided to decorate the hand. Got all these like different colored Sharpies and we just took turns writing names on the hand. Initially, we were just writing like all these random names. Then we made the mistake of writing our names on it and people that we know. And we weren't doing it in like a negative way. It was more so like a funny way. Like we weren't writing people's names on this hoping that something bad would happen to them. We were just thinking of any name under the sun. And of course, some of the first names you're going to think of are people that you know. Finish the hand. It looks great. Looks really creepy. I'll insert photos here. I'm living with my sister and her girlfriend at this time, and we just placed the hand on like a bookshelf somewhere. We don't think anything of it. I think it was around May of that same year. My sister's girlfriend's brother comes over visiting from out of town. He's good with cars. So my sister asks, his name's Josh, if he can take a look at their car. While he's working on the car, the hood of the car slams shut. It cuts his finger off. I think it's like his middle finger from like the second knuckle up, just cuts it clean off. I'm not home when this happens. I just hear this afterwards. My sister's girlfriend freaks out. My sister freaks out. Josh is completely calm, and they go to the hospital, bring his finger to the hospital, and then unfortunately they can't reattach his finger. But everything's stitched up. He's totally fine. I come home. As I'm hearing my sister retell the story, I'm sitting in the living room near that bookcase that has the hand on it, and I come to the sick realization his name is written on the same finger that he lost. Same area and everything. Like on the hand, it's written right here, and that is the finger that he lost. I'll insert a picture here of him holding the hand. The Talk to Me hand is a left hand. It happened to Josh's left hand, middle finger, second knuckle. My sister's girlfriend and her brother, Josh, were both kind of like, what did you put in that hand? Is this like a voodoo thing? Like a decent sense of humor about it, but you could tell that they were both like a little scared. This was all like in good fun. I didn't buy her that hand with the intention of creating some kind of weird voodoo doll type thing. I felt very strange after that whole thing. I was like, I don't know what to do. We wrote so many people's names on that hand. If you watch horror movies, you know it's like horror movie 101 to not burn or destroy like the evil thing. So it's still living in my sister and her girlfriend's house. I don't live with them anymore, but I feel bad and like kind of guilty. Is it truly like a possessed voodoo doll type thing that we created? I don't know. Is it just a weird coincidence? I don't know. Moral of the story is don't fuck around and find out. I've always been one to say I will never play with like a Ouija board or anything. I will never play with like a spirit box or attempt to contact the other side. But I guess I kind of did, and I didn't mean to. Should have known better. I watch way too many horror movies to be like messing around with something like that.
Bro, what the absolute freak. This was like, I literally turned off my brain. So everything she said was so surprising. It's such a foolishness. It's like, girl, why? Why? But I knew you was gonna do that. Girl. Oh my goodness. I have not seen Talk to Me, but it's crazy because when it first came out, when it was about to come out, my mom was like, oh, this is a movie you would love to watch. And I was just like, yeah, it is a movie I would love to watch. And I was going to watch it with my grandma, but after we watched some movie, that movie I was telling y'all about where she had the twin sister or whatever on the back of her head, after that movie, oh, was it Smile? It was either that movie or Smile. My grandma was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not watching any more scary movies with you. Like, no, I gotta protect my spirit. I was just like, I understand, grandma. Like, she was actually really scared of one of the movies we watched. And I was just like, okay, cool. So because my grandma wasn't watching movies with me, I have not seen that movie. I haven't seen any scary movies. I have one coming up for my birthday, Saw, because me and my Virgo guy friend, we're going to go see it. So that's the one. He's gonna have to be my new movie partner. So yeah, I haven't seen that, but I seen the trailer. And girl, why? Why would you like, girl, I wouldn't want to buy that. And people on the internet, like, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Like, they could have put something in there. Like, nope, girl, bye. So it's real wild that you decided, oh, it'd be funny if we write our names on this hand that we just watched a movie about, that we know what happens. Girl, What? That was not a coincidence, because there's no such thing as coincidences. No, that was bound to happen because y'all over here thought it was funny playing games for ha-has and giggles. Like, no, girl, no. Girl, it's like the universe, the energy, all the other stuff, intentions, maybe they wasn't bad, but you already had that knowledge of what that hand was from this movie. That knowledge, and then actually having a hand that's very similar to what it looks like, maybe your intentions, but it's just like everything is aligning, That was real weird, because y'all saw right there on that finger, it said Josh, honey, right where the finger, that is just so crazy. And what movies is it not right to burn the stuff? I don't, what? I've seen Buried. Yes, I have seen Buried. Now I'm like, yo, have I not seen stuff get burned before? I don't know, girl, but it wouldn't still be in my house, especially as the sister's girlfriend. Oh no, this would never be in my house, because it just hurt my brother. Like, even if I'm not going to tie that to my brother's accident, I still don't want it anywhere near me in my presence. Like, that's really weird, and it kind of makes sense that it just happened to her, because it was a gift to her. Like, she gave the gift to her. So if she would have wrote more people of her family, like, that's the question. Did she write more people in her family and friends on that hand? And did they get impacted? Like, that's the questions that nobody wants to ask, because we don't want the truth, honey. But it wouldn't be in my house. That's hilarious. Look, actually, it's not, because y'all think everything's a fucking joke, and it's not. This is real life, honey. This is serious. Like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Don't give me anything scary. No, thank you. We can watch scary movies together, but I don't want it in my house, honey. I don't want anything from it in my house. But anyway, like this video, follow all the creators, and don't forget to join the membership. What we doing? Y'all missed my story time if you ain't members, but the ones who did, hey members, y'all heard that story time. Girl, the update. Should I do an update about the girl? I don't know. Oh no. Subscribe. Faces of Shani.